Happy Friday, everyone. It is Friday, October 18th, and it is day 18 of 31 projects in 31 days. We are rolling right along. It's a beautiful fall day, so I decided to show you one of the cards that we made for my card club this month using the Autumn Expressions bundle. I'm just going to show you one of the stamp sets, and I'm going to let that beautiful paper speak for itself because it is so pretty. I have a sample using the daisies that are on the paper, but I'm actually going to switch it over and use one of the other papers today. And just to let you know, tomorrow I have a retreat all day, so I'll be leaving home at like 7:45 in the morning, getting home at 10 o'clock at night. So tomorrow, if I get my video done tonight, I will get it done. Otherwise, I will do 2 projects on Sunday. Just so you know, there will not be a 2 o'clock video tomorrow unless I happen to do a live from my retreat, which is maybe a little crazy because we have 44 people. So anyway, let me show you what I've got for you today. Let me flip it around. I still have my card table, so bear with me for just a minute while I get everything settled. Hope to get my real live table back because this is a little bit scary to do it this way because it's not so sturdy. Okay, so I got this idea from a demonstrator named Dawn Olszewski, and I'm not sure if she actually was the originator or if she had reposted it, but it's a fun way to do designer series paper, and you can do it with really any pattern. And you just cut it in varying widths so you have your strips. So let me show you what I've got here. We're going to use a crumb cake card base today. So I've got my crumb cake base. Go ahead and fold that. And then I have a copper clay panel, and I have embossed that with the wood embossing folder. So that's kind of cool, adds to the fall vibe, I think. And the copper clay, I just told my friend Sarah last night that copper clay has actually turned out to be one of my very favorite colors, which is a little bit surprising because I'm not a fall color girl. I'm learning though, I'm trying. And as I look down, my Mickey Mouse sweatshirt that I'm wearing is very yellow. Let me pull my sleeve down for just a second. It is quite yellow. And when it is next to my crushed curry cardstock, it's pretty close. It's a little bit brighter than my crushed curry, but it's pretty close. So I'm channeling my crushed curry today, I guess. All right, so we have that. Now, I have taken my piece of designer series paper, and so I used the daisies for this one, or the sunflowers. I'm not going to use those this time. I'm going to use this piece. I'm going to show you what I did. I have already cut it partially. Let me see if I can scoot that up so you can see. This is what the paper actually looks like. This is the 6x6 piece of paper. And I wanted to make sure that I got some of that yellow. And I didn't want so much sky, and I didn't want so much of the path that's down at the bottom. So I cut off an inch off the bottom, and then I went 3.5 upwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a 3.5 inch square. And I think I'm going to go with the side that has the sky, so that I have, or we could even cut it in the middle a little bit. Let's do that. I'm going to take, let me go over 4.5, and you can take whichever part of your paper that you really want to use, and then I'm gonna make a 3.5 inch square. Okay, so I have my square. You can use the scraps for whatever makes you happy. If I'd cut that out of the middle, we could have made an envelope flap. Maybe we'll still do that. All right, now I have my 3.5 inch square, and I want to cut that. And you can start on either side. It kind of depends on which side you want to be the star of your show. So I'm going to start on the left. Hi, Monica. Thanks for joining me today. Happy Friday. All right, so I'm going to cut an 1.25 and then I'm going to cut an inch. I'm just going to keep scooting it over, and it's going to take 1/4 of an inch off each time. So 1.25 inches, an inch. Sorry for the bouncing. I still have my card table. All right, and then 3/4 of an inch. And at that point, I will have 4 pieces, 1.25 inches, an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1/2 inch. And then I want to keep those in order, so I'm going to remember what those look like. They're going to get smaller from left to right. And I'm going to take those and lay them on my crushed curry panel. I'm going to have a little bit of a space in between. We're just going to space them evenly, and then we're going to put them about the same on the top and the bottom. Ooh, we need to scoot over this way, don't we? Okay. Doing this when nobody's watching is even hard enough, but let alone when people are watching. Well, hi, Janet. Alberta, Canada. What's the weather like in Alberta today? My geography is terrible, so I'm not even 100% sure how far east or west Alberta is. We have friends in Victoria, but I don't think Alberta is close to that. Alberta is on the east side. Is that correct? I need to learn my geography. Maybe you can help me with that. All right, so let's use some liquid glue, and I, of course, thought I picked the wrong bottle. You want to make sure you just put it right in the middle so that we don't get it on the top or the bottom, because that part won't be stuck. I'm going to try to do this so I've got equal spacing. We'll see. It may not work out so well for me. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the next 3. When I first got this paper, I was a little, it's okay. And now I really think it's beautiful. I have gone a little bit higher than the top, but I think that's okay. If it's a little more off the top than the bottom, as long as the spacing in the spaces between is okay, we're good. And it just breaks up that picture and makes it look like panels. But it's the same, it's just one square. I'm gonna hold that up so I can actually see that I did it right. I'm gonna scoot it down just a little bit. The liquid glue lets me do that because then I can see. There we go. All right. Okay, so you are further west than what I thought. Obviously, I've never been to Alberta. We went to British Columbia this summer. We went to Victoria, and you may know my Stampin' friend there. Her name is Sue Phillip. We visited with Sue and her husband and had a great time while we were there. And then we left them, and our family went to Vancouver, and we spent a few days in Vancouver. Montana. That's a U.S. state that I've never actually visited either, actually. I need to add these things all to my travel list. All right, so we have this, and this is actually going to go on the front of our card like this. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back so that those stick a little better. And I have some extra little dimensionals from that don't have the hexagon shape. I'm just going to cut those with my scissors and use those. I had a class one time, and a lady handed me a sheet that looked like this and said they were out of dimensionals. And I was like, oh, no, we have plenty of dimensionals here. We'll see how many more cards we can make with this. So I'm going to put dimensionals right in the corners of my panel. And I might put one right in the middle too, just to make sure that we can keep it. Oh, all right. Well, if you run into Sue, you tell her that you at a stamp event. I know she has stamp friends all across the country. You tell her that you watched my video, and we are sort of partners. If we have something between the United States and Canada, if we can go back and forth, then we've done a couple partnership things, which is kind of fun. So thank you for joining me today. All right, so I've got that piece. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to put some words on here. At least I hope I do. It's in my envelope. And I've just cut, it's a 1/2 inch strip. You know how if you cut 4 by 5 1/4 panels, you always have these leftover strips, and this is actually perfect for that. And we're just gonna stamp it, and we're gonna put it right on here. So I'm gonna stamp, "May the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy." Right now, I'm not thinking that the season is too pretty here because we haven't had enough rain to make the fall colors look very pretty. How about you, Monica? You're a little farther out in the country area than I am. How are your fall leaves looking? Yes, please, Janet, tell her we had a nice chat, and she will be surprised to hear that. I have to move this close enough to me to see. All right, I'm going to stamp that right in the middle. Dull. That's what I was afraid of. Missouri is not very pretty right now. We drove to Kansas City last weekend, and there was not very much going on. I think we just haven't had enough rain. All right, so I'm going to just put some glue right on the back of this, because you know me, I need to make sure I can keep it, be able to move it, because, you know, that just happens. Janet, you chose a good day to watch today because I'm a terrible bow tire, and I am not tying any bows today. All right, but I am going to use my gems that have disappeared. Where are they? This is the story of my life, y'all. I think I have something, and then it's gone. I'm not sure if you heard that. That was the cutter blade that I knocked off. All right. Well, my gems are not actually on my table. I'm not sure where they are, but you can see the Faux Glass Dots match this suite perfectly. Well, for crying out loud. Okay, well, we're not going to put gems on. I will not make you wait, but I do want to show you something. And let me show you, if I had cut this paper, I'm going to cut a piece of the daisy paper just like I just did. And I want to show you, I'll just make an extra one in a little bit. If you haven't seen this paper, it is really pretty. So let me find a daisy piece. I'm going to show you a fun thing to do on your envelope. And this particular card makes it perfect. All right, so this piece, this is our daisy paper that is in this pretty package. All right, so I want to use these daisies right here, but I'm going to cut at 3 1/2 so that I have, oh, except my cutter blade just went flying across my living room. Oh, man. It's not one thing on my videos, it's another. All right. Goodness gracious, and I'm shaking because this is not my usual table. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so I'm going to cut that at 3 1/2. Now, hold on to that piece. This is the piece I would have used for my card, and I'm going to take about a 1/2 inch off of that side. And you, like I said, you can fit it to whatever piece. I'm not going to make another card, but I want to show you. I'm going to go ahead and cut it so that it would be ready to make another card. So it's just a 3 1/2 inch square. All right, so I have my square, and it's ready. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. Now, we have this piece right here left. Now, you'd kind of wonder, well, what am I going to do with that? And let me show you. We're going to decorate our envelope. So it looks like the flower, that's the top. This side's the top. So I'm going to turn my envelope around like this, and I'm going to put some liquid glue on my envelope. And you want to go kind of high up on it near the fold so that your paper sticks. You don't want to put a whole lot of glue because you don't want it to be squishy. and I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to put it right on there. And I'm going to line it up just off of the fold line. There we go. Then you can see that it sticks off like this. So flip your envelope over, and then you take your paper snips and you just trim around it. Go right around the edge of that envelope, all the way around. You will have a fancy decorated envelope. Make sure the edges are squeezed down. And you have a pretty envelope that matches your card. So you have your envelope and you have your card. So if you make this particular thing, make sure that you cut your 3.5 across so that you have that panel across the bottom that gives you plenty of room to decorate your envelope. So thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, tomorrow I have a retreat and I will leave home at 7:30 in the morning and get home at who knows when tomorrow night. So my video will not happen tomorrow at 2. I'm hoping that I can get it recorded today. If I don't, then I will do 2 videos on Sunday so that we keep up, because we're on day 18. I've done so well of keeping up with my projects. So thank you for joining me, and I will look forward to seeing you at some point this weekend. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here soon.